This is David Anderson. He is a former foster kid who shared his story of hope on covenantcommunityservices.net, which I discovered on February 23rd of 2016. David spent 6 years of his life in the foster system. 6 years in different homes. What I learned from this is that David is not the only one in Kern County that has experienced this. Upon arriving home from school one day, David was greeted not by his mother, but by Child Protective Services, handed over by his own mother, who was addicted to drugs. And that is where David Anderson remained until the age of 18. When David Anderson turned 18, he was faced with a decision. And that is a decision that all foster children are faced with when they turn 18. You either stay in the system and try to receive some sort of help from them, or you return home, which is more comfortable. And that's what David decided to do. Now, unfortunately, David's mother didn't change anything, and she was still abusing drugs. So David soon fell victim to his environment, and he began to use drugs as well. He also ended up making decisions that landed him in jail, which is where David actually decided that he didn't want this for his life anymore. He wanted to make a change, a difference. Now, according to Kern County Department of Human Services statistics for October 2015, there were 1,061 emergency response referrals that were right here in Kern County. That's in a month. That means statistically, mathematically, by the time I'm done with this speech, there will be 325 children right here in the state of emergency due to some form of neglect. And all of those children will also have to make a choice, the same choice that David had to make when he was 18. This is why this topic is so important to me. This is what I learned to emulate by the age of 13. And I as well am a former foster kid, and I went through the system just as David did until I was 18. When I turned 18, I also chose to go back to my parents. I emancipated. This is 1 year after emancipation, already a product of my environment. I beat statistics by 1 year. And after this photo was taken, I spent 3 years in the Sacramento County main jail, 23 hours locked down. And this is also where I did as David did. I decided that this was not for me. This is not what I wanted to live. And that is when I found Delancey Street. Delancey Street is a nonprofit organization that is based out of San Francisco, and it teaches you the morals and values that you need in order to succeed in life. Most of my people skills and my math skills were born right here in Crossroads Cafe, which is a local coffee shop and a franchise of Delancey Street. Today, I want to talk with you about Covenant Community Services. I want to talk with you about the statistics that we face right here in our own backyards. I want to talk with you about what Covenant Community Services does. Each and every single day, they take measurable, unmeasurable steps to transform our future generations. Today, I want to talk with you as well as about how you can make a difference. First of all, according to Kern County Human Statistics, let's talk about the 200 youth that age out of foster care every year. 50% of these youth will experience unemployment. Another 25% will experience homelessness. And although 70% of these youth express some sort of desire to graduate, only 15% actually do. Now this is huge because according to Robert Price, 2010, he published an article in the Bakersfield, California, in which he reported that foster youth are 2.8 times more likely to be arrested. 70% are going to be incarcerated. Now, also in this article, Randy Martin, CEO of Covenant Community Services, implied the fact that if we do not create some sort of outlet for these youth, we might as well build more prisons. Which is why I use this illustration. Saki Kanafo published an article August 31st, 2013 in the Huffington Post, which stated that since 1980, California has built 22 prisons and only 1 university. And as taxpayers, this is really huge because we all probably work only to barely survive. Which brings me to my next point. In 2013, according to Saki Kanafo, we spent $10 billion that year to house these prisoners. Versus the $604 million we spent in 1980. That's a huge difference. This is what Covenant Community Services believes in. They believe in community, they believe in restoration, and they believe in transformation. Now, on February 24th of 2016, I interviewed Kim Martin. She is Chief of Operations of Covenant Community Services. I asked Kim, I said, Kim, I would like to know your credentials because I'm doing a speech in my class and I need expert opinion. And she looked at me and she said, I don't have any credentials. And I was like, really? And she's like, no, none of us really have any credentials. I don't do this for the money. I do this because it's my desire, it's my dream. Her husband as well, Randy Martin, he's the one with the credentials. He's been doing this since 1986, which is 30 years, because that's when I was born. Their dream, I found out that day, is for the entire organization to be ran by foster kids. Also that day, I interviewed a woman named Sammy McGuire. She is also a former foster youth, except she's staff now. She's a staff member, an active staff member and mentor. She faced turmoil in her life here in Kern County. She went through divorce. She had no one to help her, and she could not find a job. And it was really ironic that she was a former foster kid. Like, I found that out later. And she found Covenant Community Services, which helped her at her lowest point in her life. So after 2 months of volunteering at this place, 2 years later, within a blink of an eye, this woman is getting ready to get her human services degree, reaching a reality she never thought would happen. Covenant Community Services, they enable individuals and families to become of service to foster youth. They also have the Jeremiah Project. The Jeremiah Project enables mentors. They enable mentors to equip foster youth with the essential skills that are needed to transform back into the community. Also, Building Blocks. Building Blocks is a transitional living program, which is where David resided before he went back into the community. They have on-site support and mentors to help you. It's like affordable housing. This is what I found fascinating. The Covenant Horse Program. This program teaches youth how to build the principles of relationship through interaction with horses. I love horses. And last but not least, the Covenant Coffee House, which is the breeding ground of success for these foster youth. This is also a franchise of Covenant Community Services. So let's talk about what you can do to help. You can become a mentor. I don't know if any of you feel like at times you have some sort of experience that you can give to someone else or that you can help. By volunteering and helping and become a mentor, they will equip and train you if you feel like you don't have the experience to do so. Spread the word. I don't know if any of you have been involved with foster youth, or if you know anyone that is struggling or is young and is experiencing the same things that David experienced, but tell them about it. Tell them about Covenant Community Services. If you know how to cook, or if you're skilled in math or different areas that we are being taught here at BC, give that to someone else. Give that to a child, or give that to a foster youth that doesn't have the same skills that we obtain here. My favorite, Starbucks. I don't know if any of you have a coffee problem, but I do. And instead of spending billions of dollars or thousands of dollars a year that you spend with this billion-dollar industry, why not spend it at Covenant Coffee House, which is located at 1700 North Chester. This coffee is imported from all over the world and hand-roasted right there when you walk into the doors. Now I know what you're thinking. I don't have the experience. What can I teach someone else? But you can, and you never know what you can give to someone else until you try to come out of your comfort zone. So today we talked about statistics and how they affect us right here in Kern County. We talked about what Covenant Community Services does to transform our future generations. We also talked about how you can make a difference. So the next time your coffee urge spikes, head to Covenant. Or whenever you feel like you can be in need, or you can be of service to a human that is in need. And remember, hope lives here.